Hey everyone, Piano Man Chuck here. It is so good to be back in my home studio where I can relax and play the keyboards a little bit and, just chill after that 3 days at NAMM. But I feel very lucky and blessed to be able to have gotten a special, very special, one-on-one sneak peek walkthrough on Kurzweil's new SP7 Grand. As a friend of Chris, it was so wonderful to be able to have some one-on-one with him and actually have a one-on-one sneak peek at the Kurzweil SP7 Grand. And again, this is happening in private suite. I only had one camera, Canon, and I used a Comica Traxshot shotgun microphone. So without any further ado, I am so honored to be able to present this to you. So let's cut over to Chris right now. Chris.
2022, June, one of the oddest times we've ever had winter NAMM. I'm Chris Martirano here with American Music and Sound, and we're showing a very alpha version of Kurzweil's SP7 Grand. I was able to see this just a couple days ago for a few hours, but was able to wrap my head around a lot of what's going on. It's a radical departure from any architecture they've used in the past, known as VAST. This is more of a kind of subtractive based instrument with their first touchscreen Kurzweil ever offered. So they have a color touchscreen. The user can customize the colors they see on buttons or encoders. They can not only customize the colors, but the intensity. The instrument comes up in multi-mode, so there is no more program mode and setup mode. So very easy, it's always in multi-mode. It's a 16-zone instrument. It features an architecture they're now calling authentic timbre synthesis technology. I may be looking down and referring to a few notes here because I only got this a few days ago. 24-bit 96 kilohertz support. They have what they're calling near seamless transitions for velocity. They're doing a very interesting kind of interpolation between dynamic levels. So I'll play some sounds in a second and we can kind of hear how they transition.
Okay.
They now offer per note processing. It's not MIDI 2 yet, but it's kind of moving in that direction where each note you can control not only the velocity of that note, but also like the top out, what value it'll top out at, what value it starts at.
Nice.
So, and they've given some customization. They're talking, and they show a number of curves where you can also apply filtering per note. So if you have a multi-sample and there's like one particular note in the middle of a multi-sample, where they may have stretched a root and you're just not crazy about that tone, you can EQ that one note. Which is very interesting for them. I think it's pretty cool. Your multis, they're saying, are 6-zone, but I see 16. So I'm going to go with the 16 because I've seen 16. Simpler, streamlined programming. They have a 3 manual organ simulator. I don't find KB3 mode in here, so I don't know whether that's something coming. They do mention a number of coming engines, like the analog modeling that they've been known for, called Virtual Analog VA, and then they're also going to bring the FM 6-operator FM engine to it. It's not in here right now.
Okay.
They have a cool 2-channel audio interface with phantom power, but it does some interesting things. They have an algorithm inside that does auto pitch correction, and it will generate up to 3 additional harmonies. So you can have 4-part harmony generated from the audio interface. You'll notice they did away with pitch and mod wheel in favor of a joystick. They call the editing macro synthesis editor, available on Mac, PC, and iOS. That will allow you into much deeper levels of the programming. Right now, I'll take you through the interface here very quickly. They do have some comparison charts they'll release versus some of the competition, and also versus their own previous products. Okay. So I no longer have to look at that. We can start to look in at the instrument. You can see a very different look here. Screen. So if you want to go, just select the sound, or you want to go to a category. Of course, you still have category buttons, so you can do it as well from there. The only mode is sound now, so there's no program and multi-sound. And to the editor, you can touch above this little knob, and we enter an editor, and we can see in the left column here some of the things that are editable, and then going across the top are headings. So for example, under control, we have knobs. You can select the knob, you can change what it's going to do. You can go to buttons, you can decide whether you want them to be active or what they're going to do. They'll have more support in terms of if I hit edit. If edit becomes illuminated, you'll get to the deeper menus. As I said, it's alpha. Joystick editing, pedal editing, channel mixer. So once you start to add different zones, you see a mixer here. Of course, you can highlight either with the wheel or drag up and down.
Oh, nice.
You can, let me just get on. Yep, you usually have to be just a little above it to make the control work right now. Again, they'll optimize this. So then you could switch to your 9 to 16. So there's your 16 zones that I was speaking about, 9 through 16, and you see zone 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You can get to your effects, so you can see what's going on in the effects. There are 4 buses, A, B, C, and D. There's still 32 what they call PAU, processing effects blocks. So the power is the same as the K2700 in terms of effects, or from the Forte or the PC4. They share the same effects possibilities. You get into key range. Key range, again, gives you some graphics where you can actually grab, and if you want, move up and down. Or you can actually do that under your zone editor. So you can see if you go to keys, you have a learn. So I can say on this zone, I want to go from there. Let me just bring the volume down here. And then the top, if I want to change a value for the top, I can do it as a value. I can say go to key 52. And then I can say, okay, that's what I wanted. When I go back into our sound editing tour, and I was over here at key range. If you go to the zone editor, you can see under keys the ability to learn high and low. Mm-hmm. So learn, you can say here, you can say that you want this to be, and so you just assign your ranges. Envelope control, again, there'll be parameters that you don't see yet that will allow you to get underneath. So you'll be able to say, what controller is controlling attack or what series of controllers. You can see vibrato, portamento, miscellaneous. These are just giving ideas for how the interface will work. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So if you want to control depth, you can do that or drag your finger, if you want. So new for Kurzweil with the touch display, which is interesting. Then you get to your effects parameters. And you can see there's a EQ, so you can decide what kind of filter do I want. There'll be some kind of drop-down menu, so you can see the number of filters. So here's a 6 dB filter. You can go to 12 or low shelf or band pass, this kind of thing. And you can have up to 4 different filters. This is done on a per program basis. Kurzweil no longer using a layer paradigm as they did in former Kurzweil vast architecture. So mod, you can see that they have a rotary here. You can decide, what kind of chorusing and again, there'll be a way to get underneath and say what's going to control these. Right now they have some defaults mapped out just for the show to demonstrate. Delays, you can pick the type of delays you want. And then again, you have this ability to mix how much of the effects that you want on a per bus basis, and you're given the 4 bus architecture. Mm-hmm. So if we jump out of this, we'll just go through some of the sounds and check it out. One thing they did is every sound has all of the zones, the first 8 zones at least currently, are programmed with a sound. So if I'm playing a keyboard sound, and I press this next pad, multi already, and if you wanted to, let's say, change them, you'd go into your edit mode, just like we were showing before. You'd go to your zone edit, and then you would say, you know, zone 5 or zone 4. I really don't want the organ sound on there, so you can select and, you know, pick what you want. Though I'm assuming there'll be, or have suggested, some kind of search way to just see, you know, what the patches are, because you don't want to scroll through a huge list of stuff. So back to sounds here. I'll just play and try to shut up a little bit.
He has an organ, I take it, right?
Yeah.
So
But it's
drawbars
not,
are on the
no,
screen?
not yet. And according to what their cut sheet says right now, it doesn't appear that KB3 mode will be in here. I think if the feedback is, you know, strong, if the force is with the people, they'll listen.
Okay.
So here's just one of their grand piano sounds. Point out it's 256 voices of polyphony. Of course, many different presets. I would assume these are all based on the same piano samples. Have NAMM hands from setting up for multiple days, so minor seconds are not intended.
Okay.
Electric pianos, you know, you'll find all of the things that you would expect: clavinets, electric pianos, you know, whirly Rhodes, that kind of stuff. Right now, they've not been optimized as far as the programming, but just to show you the EQs, you can take a sound like these are going to be low, so we can roll low off. Change the mid frequency, how much cut, add some high end. Clavs, the usual suspects. So, very good stuff. I'm just going to show a couple multis I put together. I say multis, but these are just sounds. They're just like every other sound in here. Turn off the strings. Back to acoustic piano. This is kind of very useful just to have all of that right on the surface.
Nice. a split with
Yes.
drum and bass on the bottom? Okay.
The ride cymbal, which
Yeah.
you can turn off. Nice guitars. Some of these undoubtedly are coming from the expansion block that was originally made available for the PC3K8 Core 64 and made its way into a lot of the instruments. So they have some kind of a pad so I can hit. And one more here. This one I'm kind of like building. I've made just a few and it doesn't save reliably yet. So some of these I have fun with because it's interactive.
Okay.
So this one. So that's about all I can really show at this point. We are using the audio interface to now couple a NUMA X piano, just using it as a mixer because we don't have a mixer present up here.
Okay.
Have you've reviewed this already? Right?
I reviewed the GT and
Yeah.
I actually purchased the GT.
Yeah.
It feels so
It's
good.
a beautiful product.
Yeah.
I had it at my house for about a month or so, but one point I didn't point out over here is that they went to an SD card instead of a thumb drive.
Okay.
There's still USB connectivity the other way to the computer,
Okay.
but SD card for storage. In a lot of ways, this might make sense these days, since that the storage is much larger.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this has almost 4 gigs of sound memory. Not really sure what they're planning to do as far as user samples yet.
Okay.
Haven't not seen any spec beyond what I was able to read to you. I have no idea if they're going to have large storage for the user as well.
Do they have a price on it yet, or
There's no price yet, and the availability, there's no availability yet.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Any of you that have ever worked on products, you know software development is a highly predictable art form.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're showing it here to me is interesting. It must mean that they have some plan fairly close by.
I'm sure.
Wow. Thank you.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you again, Chris. I know I thank you in person. I want to thank you again and again. That was a wonderful, wonderful product walkthrough, product demo. And even though it's alpha, you made it so that it's really ready right now, which is far from. But I really appreciate that, Chris. All the best to you. And as for everybody watching this video, I hope you learned something from this. Piano Man Chuck, peace out. Thanks for watching.